Welcome back everyone, and thanks for watching. We're back at it on this white 2000 Sportster again. We still have some needed work to do on it. Right now we're going to get this stator replaced. We got the carburetor fixed in the last video, so it's no longer leaking, but hopefully if we can get this stator in, we can get this sucker back out on the road and test it, and then after that we can start cleaning it up to really make it shine. So here's kind of where we're set up. Yes, we're not even on a jack. Unfortunately, my jack is being used over there. That is another project that we will be doing some work on and we'll share on the channel. So I desperately need to get a lift or another jack, but this can be done on the ground, and it just kind of shows it can be done very simple. And even filling the primary up when we're done, I can even get somebody to help me stabilize it to fill it up. So yes, you can do this with the bare essentials. So we're just going to get comfortable here. It's about the best thing you can do in this position. We've already drained the fluid out. We've already removed the shift lever, I guess, whatever you want to call it, right here. So what we do have to do, since on a Sportster the clutch cable comes in through the primary side right here, we have loosened the cable up all the way, all the slack, even removed this. If you can see this little mount that goes up there on the forward controls. But we need to get this derby cover off so we can disconnect the cable from the actual clutch. If I got the right socket, that might be helpful. These are actually aftermarkets because somebody put the, oh good. These are not over tightened. Perfect. Somebody did right. I can appreciate that. And on a Sportster, when you take these off, there is a spring behind this. I'll say that, and it'll probably still pop off on me. All right. By the way, these are interior removal tools. If you ever do car stereos, I use these all the time in the shop, all the time on stuff, because it allows you to pry things out without hurting any kind of metal surfaces at all. So would much rather scratch this up, but I've used this thing for many different uses. You can get these from like I'm sure you could get them on Scamazon or anywhere else for just pennies. Basically, you're screwing this in all the way to pull this out. There we go. Now we're ready to move this cover, and so what we'll do, since you have this clutch cable in here, is unfortunately the cover stays connected, I guess, unless you wanted to loosen that, but I wouldn't dare do that. And also, as I remove them, this is probably overkill. You love my to scale drawing. I like to take this and just kind of remember where all my screws / bolts are. The cardboard thing may be overkill, but I just like to know that things are back where they were. I really think this was just going to pop off. There it is. When in doubt, get a hammer. A little bit of fluid left in there, not bad. And so this will just literally set off to the side. All right, so now on to the fun part. Hopefully this is going to go either really smooth or it's going to be a massive pain in my afternoon. And that is pulling this motor nut. I'm not worried about the transmission. I do have some snap ring pullers. You got to get the snap ring out. So this motor nut's about 80-ish, 85 foot-pounds. This is actually a righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. That's reverse thread. This sucker is torqued from like 190 to 210 with red Loctite. So I am going to put a jam bar in here. I think I've got something that'll fit. And I'm going to try to hit this with the impact. If that don't work, I've got a cheater bar and a pipe to put over it that we will try. I'll be. Boom. Well, that made my day. That means something else is going to dramatically go wrong. So we need to get over on this side here, and we've got to pull the snap ring, and then behind the snap ring is the nut for this, and we'll just literally use the impact. I got the same socket, and we'll go righty-loosey, if that makes sense. Now, I know there's a lot of opinions on using impact on these. My opinion is my back likes it a lot better, so that's what I'm going to go with. Years when I used to do these with the BDL drives, I would do everything manually, quite frankly, because I didn't have an impact, but it just works. I'm sorry. I mean, that right there, I would have spent, there's no telling how much time trying to get that. We will be using, of course, a torque wrench to get it to the 200 foot-pounds. That will go back on there right with the red Loctite. But tightening these is always usually a lot easier than removing them. Oh, there it comes. I just pulled it all out with it. That's fine. Just make sure you hit the forward on this one. And then there is a washer. It should have an out on it, which should go without saying. That goes out. So now we can pull this actual drive off. This is where I need an assistant. Or maybe a professional. Okay, let's see. I do not want this clutch to fall off. I am going to do the smart thing and go get an assistant. Because I do not want to drop that because this is at an angle. Okay, we have success. I had to get an assistant to help me with that. And the only reason I did is this bike is leaning over this way, if you can see that on camera, toward me. I did not want that clutch to slide off of that while I was two-handing on that. Yes, I had to use two hands. Maybe I'm weak. That's fine. And they didn't want to be on camera, so we got it. But that is the stator we're going to be pulling. So you can see you got the 4 stator bolts. Those are, I forget the inch pounds. I will have to check that. But those shouldn't be in there that tight. You got to remove this little tab up in here, and then there's your plug that the stator goes into. So the stator wire itself kind of wraps around through the back, down behind the cam cover, and then the, whatchamacallit, the cover that goes over the pulley for the motor, or for the final drive. But we're going to get this stator off, and we're going to attach a piece of cord or some kind of line to the other end of that cable, just so we kind of know the routing of it, if that makes sense. We are going to remove these small bolts in here, and take a picture of this stuff before you do it too, just so kind of you know the orientation on it. I'm pretty sure it's only going to go one way, but it helps. And when you get these stators, you replace on these bolts. Every time you buy a stator, it should come with new bolts, screws, whatever you want to call them, and they've already got Loctite in them. Well, we are back at it. We had a little bit of a snafu on the line. Feeding it through, I have a feeling it's still going to be a pain. Yes, it is. See, there it comes. These things are crazy. Now, one thing you do want to do, tie a little rope or something to it. I did end up having to cut the head of this thing off. It was wrapped up around something that was keeping it. I don't know why they ran it that way. So we'll attach this to the new cable, run the new one through, and then hopefully we can hopefully for today, can at least get this stator mounted up in here. Unfortunately, I'm going to probably have to finish up the rest of this tomorrow, so I will cover it all up. Okay, and we should be able to feed this through. Boy, I make that sound so flippin' easy. Okay, we made some progress here. So we got the new stator in. These only go to 40 inch-pounds, so very critical on these. These are brand new screws that go in, and they've already got Loctite on them. 40 inch-pounds. I mentioned this tool in the last, was it the last video? Can't remember. Love these things. Love them. Primarily for firearms, that's what they're marketed as, but they just make an excellent, in my opinion, for this, because it gives you a better feel for what you're doing. I just prefer them. There we go. We got our plug in, and you just use a little bit of you can use a little bit of this gear oil to punch that through. We got it routed down through there. We can hook it up. Next steps are I need to clean up this gasket, this surface. I'm going to finish mounting this all up tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm going to get this kind of tidied up so everything's covered up, but we should be in good shape. We're at a point now where we can get this back together and get this bike back on the road, which is awesome. And then from there, we will do the fun part, which is just cleaning on her, which is fun but easy, but depending on who you are, it may be fun, but I like it. Happy next day, everyone. We're going to get this, hopefully get this primary finished up here. Yes, I had to let this sit overnight. Unfortunately, was not able to finish it, but a few things we did get done is we got this cover cleaned up, and we also got all the gaskets scraped away, so that's good. Actually cleaned up I was mentioning yesterday, I know this seems a little crazy, but getting down in there where those bolts fit and everything just kind of helps make it look a little bit better. This bike did have those little goofy Allen head covers on the bolts, on these bolts over here, and I just don't like those. So we're just trying to take the steps we can as we put things back together to basically make it look better than we found it. We've obviously got our torque wrench ready to go. Got a few pieces of steel to use as a jam bar. I've actually got a really cool jam bar that I use for BDO belt drives, open belts and enclosed, and it also works for big twin primaries, but it's just too long for this. So hopefully one of these two does the trick. Thinking that smaller piece might bend, so we will see. But these are torqued to a lot. They're like 180, I think, to 200. We're set at 200 now. And we're going to see if we can just give her the you-know-what and get this sucker torqued. And then we will get this transmission one torqued. And remember, it is reverse thread, so that one will be lefty-tighty. Alrighty, let's see what we can do here without immensely killing myself. Well, I guess I should probably put it in the right direction. All right. Oh, there we go. And again, this is a lefty-tighty. You can get used to saying that. This one's about 70 to 80 foot-pounds, a lot less. One trick you can do on this, if you're kind of in a pinch and you need to loosen one of these for whatever reason on the transmission side, if you don't have something to put in there to jam in it, if you're in a pinch, again, you can actually have somebody give some serious pressure on the rear brake. It will hold it and allow you to loosen it. Probably don't recommend that, but if it's something you need to do, it can be done. I've actually done it myself sitting on the bike almost like it's a jockey shift, so it can be done. It's just probably not the best way to do it. There we go. Okay. We are good, and I had that one set at 70, so I went over it just a little bit, so we are in good shape. So a couple of things, since this bike is leaning over towards me on the stand, use some for the dowel pins that go in here, I use a little grease to hold those up in there, but then on the gasket use a little petroleum jelly just to put behind it, because if not, you are going to be fighting this thing trying to get it to hold in place. And when you put this cover on, you're going to probably have to lift up the shoe to kind of get it to pass. So there's a lot of things that go in at once, but if you can get something like that to hold it, you can also use grease to hold it up there. That'll work just the same. It is painful having this primary, this clutch cable attached on here while doing this. There we go. Multiple things at once. That's what we do in shops and garages and all that, right? Multiple things at once. All we're doing is just getting these finger tight, just holding it in place. And what we'll do when we torque these, I'm going to do a crisscross pattern. Now these are torqued, I think the specs are 80 to 110-ish inch-pounds. This is another area I like to go way on the bottom end, maybe even a little less. Some guys will just use literally a T-handle Allen tool just to tighten these. And when you're done, you can go around and check all of them, just to double check that you've got them all torqued. So now we need to get this brake shoe, good grief, this primary shoe adjusted right up here. I hope I can, you know what I just thought of? I hope I can get to that on the stand. I should be able to, because I did all that on the bike jack before Exhibit A took it over. But we're going to get that adjusted. We need to get the clutch cable adjusted. I'm not going to put that on film. There's plenty of videos on doing that. Also, it's in the manual. But we're going to get all that done, and then we're going to get to the point that we can fire this thing off, and fingers crossed that she charges. The regulator allegedly has been replaced already, so if this doesn't do it, then we popped a stator in and out for nothing. But hey, we got a new stator in it, so that's good. We are going to try to fire off this bike. Should run pretty decent. It ran before. Of course, if it doesn't run now, that means I did something silly. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. It's probably not a great idea, but I'm not really full of many great ideas. Oh, in case you're wondering what's here, I just need to add the mirror. So, yeah, that. But let's see what she does. We got the choke on. We got the gas on. And I'm not going to give any squirts of accelerator pump because I know I have been putting quite a bit in this bike already. There she is. Just like that. That's not bad at all. I'll take that any day. The advancing times sound nice. This bike's quite a bit louder than that other one. But it is nice. Very, very, very nice. We need to check the charging. And after that, let's get her out on the road a little bit. Very good. That is about at 1,200, maybe 1,100 RPMs. We were getting at 14, a little over 14 at 3,500 when I had an assistant, so we're good. So we're going to get all these things tidied up. We got to get the shifter hooked back up, obviously, clutch cable tidied up, and also these stator wires and that back on, the mirror back on. But we're going to take this thing for a run tomorrow. She is running good. And I'll tell you what, this carburetor, see if it'll idle. That accelerator pump is nice. This bike is running very good. Not bad for a bike that has been sitting for a long, long, long time. And now she's going to make a really good ride for someone once we clean it up. We will talk to you folks tomorrow. So far, everything on this bike has been a success. That does not always work out that way. Went down the road good. The carburetor's running much better. We've got better accelerator pump. There's no more leaking from it. It is still charging. We have no primary leaks. Everything is good to go. So I am ready to move on to the cleaning stages of this bike. We're going to wrap this video up here though, and then we're going to have another one showing kind of like the process of how I clean these up and everything. We're going to be removing a lot of stuff off this bike. It's not going to, this isn't just a wash and polish. This is, pegs are going to be removed, a lot of peg mounts. We've got some rusty spots on there on these peg mounts. We're going to try to clean up. We want to try to clean up all the rust as much as we can, any kind of oxidation, any kind of corrosion that may be on this bike. And I'll just kind of show you guys some tricks that I do along the way with just some of your basic household stuff. Meaning you don't have to go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a lot of chemicals. You can do that. That's fine. But you can definitely do it pretty simple. But so far, so good on this bike. This is a good one. This one's definitely going to be back on the road, and it's going to give somebody many years of enjoyment, that's for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. So far, this, I'll call it a project. Hasn't really been a huge project. It's really just been kind of some maintenance and cleanup. But hey, I'll take it. It's a great bike. Hoping to get the third video of this bike out for the cleaning about a week or so after this one. So if you please can subscribe, and hopefully the video will be coming out soon. Also, the little ride around the neighborhood, I'm hoping to get maybe a chest rig or a helmet cam, something, or helmet cam mount, something like that, to get some hopefully better content in the future. If you got any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments. That's kind of new to me. I don't know. We'll see. Could be something for the future. But until then, I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.